Alright class, this is day 2 of Parabolas. Exciting stuff. Today what we're doing is we're trying to just figure out the equation of the parabolas with the information given. So really all you need to get an equation of a parabola is you need the vertex. So we need the vertex. And we need the a value. Okay? So I'm not actually asking you to graph. But if I plot negative 5, 1 for the vertex, and 2, 1 for the focus. Remember, the parabola will open towards the focus. I know that's not exactly what it'll look like, but it's going to look like that. So right now I know it's opening right, which means it's going to be a y squared problem. And I know that the a value I can find by counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say a equals 7. Okay? So now I can pretty much make my equation. If I'm doing y squared first, it's y minus 1 squared equals, remember this is 4a, so that's going to be a 28, and then it's x plus 5. And again, it's opening right, which means it's y squared and it's positive. So that's, I mean, if you get the a value and you know your vertex, you can just go and you know which way it's opening, you've got it. And again, you don't have to graph anything. This graph over here is to help you with your work. It's kind of just helping you. All right, let's try another one. Find the equation with a vertex at negative 2, negative 3. So there it is right there. Opens left. So it's opening this way. And it contains the point negative 3, 1. Okay, so it has this point. That point is not anything that we know. So I don't know a yet. So I don't know a. So I'm going to make the equation as if I know everything but a. If it opens left, that's a y squared again, but it's going to be, well, we'll find the a negative as negative later. So it's going to be y plus 3 quantity squared equals 4 times a, and then it's going to be x plus 2. So we pretty much have the equation, except for I don't have the a value because I don't know where the focus or the directrix is. But I do know that this point has to be on this parabola. Because of that, I can sub in the y and the x into where y and x is. So it says when y is 1, x is negative 3. So that's how I would sub that in. I get 4 squared is 16 is equal to 4a times negative 1. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4a. So I get a is equal to negative 4. Now that I know a is equal to negative 4, I could plug that back in and rewrite my final equation for this parabola. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, x plus 2. And that is the equation of a parabola when you do not know a, and you can't count. You have to use the point to solve for a. Okay, that's probably the hardest thing you're going to do today, and the word problems are very similar. Okay, so this problem, we have a focus at 5, 7, which is way up here. I want to make sure I get the right dot. And then the directrix is at the line y equals 1. Okay, so this one I'm missing the vertex, but I have a directrix and a focus. Now, if you guys remember correctly, the vertex is directly in between these two, because from the vertex you can go the same distance from the to the focus and to the directrix. So since this is a spacing of 6, if I move 3, that means that it's going to look like this somehow. And my vertex is at 5, 4. So my vertex is 5, 4. It's opening up. So it's going to be an x squared. And the a value is, if you count, it's equal to 3. So now I can write my parabola equation. X minus 5 quantity squared equals 4a. Remember 4a. So 4a is equal to 12 then. So 12 y minus 4, because again the 4 is the y coordinate of the vertex, and that's it. Alright, let's move on. Now we're going to do 2 word problems. First thing you have to note is we have a parabolic mirror. It's developed to boil water using the light from the sun. If the parabolic mirror is 8 feet across at the opening and 2 feet deep at its center, where should a pot of water be placed to boil? Just so you guys know, whenever you're doing problems with parabolic mirrors or headlights or things like that, all of the rays of the sun will bounce and hit the focus. So they're asking you, where is the focus? when you're dealing with problems like this. Okay, where is the focus located at? That's what we need to figure out. When you have a problem like this, you always want to set the vertex to 0, 0 if possible to make it easier for yourself. And I'm going to do that right here and here. Here's my mirror. I'm going to say that this point is 0, 0, and it's opening up. So right away I can say this is x squared equals 4ay. Now I need another point so I can find a, because a will tell me where the focus is. Well, to get the other point, it tells you that this whole opening across here is 8. This is 8. I'm going to try to put it in there. So that means that this length right here is 4. It also says the depth here is 2. So that means that the y value is 2. So that means that this point on the parabola is 4, 2. An x of 4, a y of 2. So I can use that kind of like problem 2 where we don't know a but we know another point where we say 4 squared equals 4 times a times 2. 16 is equal to 8a. A is equal to 2. And that's where the focus should be. The focus should be 2 feet above the vertex. So we should put the water. So the water should be 2 feet above the vertex, where the focus is. Okay, so that's the answer to the problem because we found that a is 2 and that's where the focus is, and that's where we want to put things in a parabola. Okay, this is kind of the same thing but upside down. I have the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. So if I draw that, this is the, here's the arch right here. Alright, not too bad. The only thing that's weird about this is I probably don't want to make 0, 0 up here because I'm dealing with a bunch of negatives. So I'm going to make this 0, 0. And then it says it's 630 feet tall. So if I go straight up at its height, I would say that this is the point 0, 630. So I have now found the vertex. The vertex is 0, 630. So right away, and it's opening down, which means it's x squared equals 4a, and then instead of y, it's going to be y minus 630. Okay. Find an equation that models the parabola. So we need to find a, just like last time. We also know this whole thing down here is 630, which means that half of that is 315. So that means there's a point on here that's 315, 0. So just like the last problem and just like problem 2, when you don't have a and you don't know how to count because you don't know where the focus is, you have to use another point. So this is going to be 315 for x squared equals 4a times 0 minus 630. Okay? So 315 squared is a big number. Now remember, you're not going to have a calculator for your test, which means I'm not going to give you really bad numbers or a word problem. So negative 630 times 4 is what we get here, and we get negative 2520a. So a is 39, negative 39.375. So that means if I plug that in for the a value here, you get a final equation. 4 times that is negative 157.5 y minus 630. And that makes sense because it is facing downward, so this should have ended up being a negative number anyway, so it's facing down. Okay, so that's doing models of parabolas using the formulas going backwards. It's not too difficult, but when you don't have the focus or the directrix, you're going to have to find the a value using another point, and that's the key there. So, all right, well, those are conics. We're done with the conics. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this unit. I enjoyed it. I think we got 2 more units to go. Summer is almost here. See you later.